very fundamental issue of hasad. Hasad is translated into English as jealousy, and did not start when people came to this earth. It started even before men were created. As soon as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala announced that I will create this creation and He will be my Khalifa on this earth, the first person to object was خَلَقْتَهُ مِن تِينٍ وَخَلَقْتَنِي مِن نَارٍ. Why is he so special, this Adam of yours, when you have created me from fire, while he is made from clay, dust, sand? This is hasad. I am fulan fulan. This is what shaitan said. I have been worshipping you for ages. Some riwayat will say 50,000 years shaitan has done ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whereby he reached a maqam where he was with the angels. When Allah says, I've commanded the angels, it was an expectation from shaitan to do sujood because of his maqam and his station. His jins, his genre, the way he was, his physical appearance, his constitution was not of the nuri, malakuti, angelic type, but he was made of fire. But because of his ibadat and his proximity to Allah and all the sujood and all the dhikr he's done, he gained proximity till a point. And that breaking point, or they say what broke the camel's back, was this hasad that creeped within him, that seeped in his being, that he did not pay attention to, and it caused his downfall. Where do we see hasad after shaitan? In Habil and Qabil. Habil and Qabil, the children of Nabiullah Adam alayhi salatu salam. What do? People say, oh, there was external influence, for instance, political circumstances. There's not many people in the world at that time. It's Adam, Hawa, and these little children, young children. Who? Habil and Qabil. And Qabil kills his brother because of jealousy, because of hasad. And this hasad exists in each and every one of us, myself included. It exists. We decide the grade, or do we drive it up a notch, or do we bring it down a notch? We decide the level of hasad we have for each other or anybody else. And wallah al-azim, if you look at the riwayat, you'll be astonished at how many sadat, the children of the Ahl al-Bayt, the children of the imams, worked against the imam because of hasad. Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salatu salam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. One of the major people who gave problems to him were his own family, his cousins. One of the people involved in the murder of Imam al-Kadhim was his cousin. Imam al-Askari alayhi salatu salam says, no imam has been tested by his companions the way I've been tested by my companions, because of hasad. Why do Banu Hashim have it? Why do we not have it? We'll come to that at a later stage. What is hasad? By definition, what is jealousy? There's two things. If you pick up ulum akhlaq, if you pick up ilm akhlaq, they talk about one thing is ghibta and one is jealousy. Ghibta is very simple, straightforward. Allah has blessed my brother with something. I say, Allah increase in this blessing. Allah give him more and give me something similar. So I pray for him and I say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you have a big treasure chest. If you give it to all of humanity, nothing will come away from you. Your treasure won't run out. Allah, whatever you bless my brother with, give me some of it. This is ghibta. Hasad is, Allah, I don't want to see it with him. Remove it from him. I get it or I do not receive it. I don't care. He should not have it. This is hasad. Why does somebody have a certain blessing? Why is he so knowledgeable? Why does he look a certain way? Why does Allah bless him with so many houses? And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. He says there's three kinds of someone who's a jealous person. I'd say, my brothers and those sisters listening, when the Imam or when the Quran or when the Ma'asum Rasulullah tells you there's three signs of a munafiq, there's four signs of a muttaqi, there's five signs of a liar, don't go around looking it in other people's actions. This is habit we have. Maulana Sahab, ye teenon cheezein iske andar maujood hain. He must be a munafiq. These are signs from me and myself, you and yourself. Do these things exist within me, yes or no? Gauge yourself. This is a barometer, a standard, a benchmark for each and every one of us. It has nothing to do with anybody else. Most of the problems in this world arise because we are more involved in other people's issues than we are with our own issues. If you were to reflect and sit down and look at your life, and you really want to improve yourself, you realize there's so much work I need to do. If you have nothing to do, start working on your physical self. Look your best at whatever age you are. You said, you know what, am I in my prime for my age? No? Start working on yourself. Busy yourself with this. Better you busy yourself with this jism and this badan and this dunya than you busy yourself with other people's affairs. Nothing is destructive or nothing destroys man the way meddling into other people's affairs and issues are. The three signs Rasulullah says, one thing, he said the first sign is he does a lot of ghibah. A hasid, someone who has hasad, a jealous person, will do ghibah. He'll sit down with you and he'll talk about somebody else. The reason I am sharing this tonight, first and foremost, this is a security check for myself. Once I've announced this, so when you see Maulana Sahab doing it, it's like, Maulana Sahab, you don't do this now, we know the three signs now. So alhamdulillah bil alameen, I share this with my brothers so they can watch over me because we watch each other. وَتَوَاسَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاسَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. We watch each other. He backbites. If you have not experienced this, I will share with you my experience. You know, anybody who talks to you about someone else will talk to someone else about you. This is 100% guaranteed. Man naqala alayka wa man naqala anka naqala alayk. This is a hadith from the Imam. Whoever comes to you and says, person X has said this, you cannot trust him. Because as soon as you leave, he will talk about you to somebody else. This is in their nature. It's aib. Oh, aap to bahut achhe hain, you're very good. That person is not that great. How can you trust someone who's like this with you, talking about a ghaib, talking about someone who's absent, someone who cannot defend himself? That is why the riwayah says, man ightab, whoever does ghibah, is like he's eating the flesh of his dead brother. What does that mean? He's eating the flesh of someone who cannot defend himself. Allah give each and every one. I see many people here who've done the practice. When you have time where you're available, sometimes there's notices coming out on the app or on the Facebook page that there's a janaza or a mayyit in the ghusl khana here, ghusl happening. Just sign up. Say, you know what, I want to be present and I want to help for ghusl. Call the ghusl committee. Tell them when there's a janaza next time, I just want to be present in the room. And see how a janaza is in front of you. Be present in the room where there's a janaza you're giving ghusl to. This person who used to take care of himself right now is not able to move left or right. He's not able to turn around. And he is at the mercy of the brothers around him. A very sharif man, a very decent man. He's always well dressed, always well groomed, always taking care of himself. In the janaza room, he's covered with a loincloth and he's lying on his back at the mercy of people around him. It's a sight to behold. It's something to consider. You are present in the room, you're helping with the janaza, it will change perspective. Tomorrow we're here on this table at the mercy of the brothers around us. Be careful of the brothers you choose to be around you. Or at least have brothers. When they find out that fulan person has passed away, they show up and they know how to respect you when you're living, and they know how to respect you after you're gone. Otherwise you're stuck. And this is why tarbiyah of awlad, Allah, again I say, bless your parents. Even if your children are young, you've come here on Thursday night, you've come here to be in the masjid, you've come here to be with the dhikr of Muhammad and al-Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, it will have an effect. It will have an effect. Passively listening will have an effect. Not so long ago, somebody, one of the ulama was talking about, they went to someone's house and they handed him a small pot, and they said, Maulana, when you go to Pakistan, take this with you. It's like, what is this? Like, these are the ashes of her mother. Shia family. Ashes of the mother. Why? Because, alhamdulillah, Maulana, the kids are in private school. So, what have you prepared for the akhirah? Kids are in the private school, yes. Many cases, because unfortunately, like I said, this is, it's my job. I have to speak to other ulama, find out what's happening at other places. They say, Sayyid, right now, they just get a phone call, Maulana, there's a janazah coming. I don't think I'll be able to make it. If you can just bury it and tell me where the qabr is. The father's qabr, janazah, and the son says, I don't have time. I'll come down in a month or 2 months. Unfortunate, but true. And this is not extreme example. Unfortunately becoming the norm. Why? Because we're more interested in educating the children. No one's stopping you from it. No one's telling you not to do it. But my question is this, and my ustad, Allah give him a long life, Sayyid Abu Talib Tabatabai, he uses that example, a very beautiful example. He says, imagine you purchase a ticket, line ticket, for a first class, and your journey is 6 or 7 hours. First class ticket for a 6-7 hour journey. When you get on the plane, they say, we're very sorry, we have overbooked, so we have no seat for you. So for the next 6-7 hours, you'll be standing in the plane. And that's how we'll take you. So he stands there in the plane, you stand there in the plane, with no seat to sit on for 6 hours. And then when food comes out, they say, sorry, we overbooked, so there's no food for you. You just have to get off the plane when you do and then eat then. You tell them, I'm tired. And they say, there's no room for you, so you find a spot and you lie down on the floor. And anytime somebody comes or goes in the aisle, they keep banging into your head or banging into your foot. When you get off that plane, you've bought a first class ticket. When you get off the plane, what is the first thing you'd usually do? You'd run to the airline's office and you give them a piece of your mind. This is the first thing you do. You paid for first class, there's no seat, there's no food, you've been treated how you've been treated, and now you're unhappy. When you go to the airline's office and when they find out, they're very astonished. They said, oh, I'm very sorry this happened to you, you experienced this. So in compensation, to compensate the mishap, let's make an arrangement. Anytime you travel till the end of your life, the expense is on us. Anywhere you go in the world, we'll make sure you have a good flight and we'll pay for your ticket. And anywhere you transit or stay, we'll give you a 5-star hotel. So we're paying for transport or your flight for the rest of your life, and anywhere you stay, we'll give you a brilliant hotel. What do you say? It's like, is there another flight? I'm ready to do another 8 hours of the same struggle I went through. If this is the payoff, if you're paying me for free commute for the rest of my life, and if you're paying me a brilliant hotel for the rest of my life, I don't mind another 8 hours, 10 hours, 15 hours. I don't mind staying hungry. Make sense? This is the dunya and that is the akhirah. This is the dunya and that is the akhirah. Struggle for 50 years, 80 years, 100 years. وَهُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ. And they live there forever and ever. They live there forever and ever. So choose how you choose to live. Make a choice, make a decision. There's many things to talk about, but I have to keep coming back to hasad because hasad is the root. It is the first sin witnessed. When sins were witnessed, the first sin that manifested was hasad. And it seeps up. It happens in the ulama, it happens in the shu'ara, it happens everywhere. It's a thought, it's a fleeting thought. It comes, it strikes you, and it causes destruction and it goes away. Sometimes you don't realize what's happening. The first sign Rasulullah says is he backbites. The second sign the Imam says, there's a word in Urdu called chaplus. In English, the word for chaplus, I don't know, I can't think of the word right now. But it's someone who is always nice to you, who's always with you, he's always very agreeable with you, but as soon as you turn away, he has a different face to show. So with you, he's all nice and decent, you're his best friend, he'll do anything what you want him to do, but as soon as you turn around, he changes. He changes. First, the hasid, the one who does hasad, who's jealous, backbites. Second, he's chaplus. The third thing is he's never content. He's never happy. Kisi hal mein khush nahi. He's never happy. Always complaining, always whining. These three things Rasulullah says, and again, I urge you, instead of looking out for somebody else, look for these signs within yourself. Even if it is in a small miqdar, even if it's in a small amount. And hasad starts with a small thought. Somebody says something, and unfortunately, in our Pakistani Indian families, it happens a lot between brothers, brother and sister, siblings. Why, Barhal? When the children get married, now there's another introduction in the family, the bahu or the damad, and now there's problems. I'm not taking this out of my pocket. Shia people have gone to Hindus to get magic done for Shia brothers. Shia individuals, Ithna Ashari, have gone to Hindu babas to get ruqa or ruqya for magic for their own family members. What? Hasad. The root of it is hasad. And people don't think much of it. Aap baithe mein kahin pe, there's 4 or 5 people sitting down. One of the relatives, they make a remark. It doesn't mean anything in the gathering, but the effect that one remark has sometimes can be felt in generations. Why? Because one old man or one old woman could not control their tongue. Could not control their tongue. And the root is hasad. The root is hasad. The cause is hasad. The problem with the hasid, if you look, why does one person do hasad? The problem with the hasid is because he does not believe in his heart that Allah controls everything. This is the problem. The problem with the hasid, why is anyone jealous? They feel that Allah has been unfair. Where else does this go to? Why does he have much? As soon as this thought comes to one's mind, why does he have, iske paas zyada kyun hai? Why does he have a lot? The first thing you ask yourself is, who gave it to him? Where did it come from? Is it not Allah who says, I am the Raziq? Is it not Allah who says, I am the Hayy and I am the one who gives life? Why does he have so many children? Why does... It's very petty if you sit down. It is very petty if you sit down. And the reason I share this with you is my brothers in faith, my brothers who are the lovers of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, Allah protect each and every one of us from this very hidden, very latent adhab and very latent, very hidden characteristic. If you find yourself, revise and revisit your tawheed. If Allah gives someone 1,000,000 and He gives you 1, it is still fair. and it is just. And if Allah gives somebody 15 and He gives you none, it is still fair, it is just. Unless you exist outside the paradigm of Allah. But that is not possible. لا يمكن الفرار من حكومته. You cannot exist, you cannot exit the paradigm of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is very manifest. Allah is very manifest. One of the books, in the Qasas, one of these, please read Salawat Muhammad wa Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. When they narrate the story of Nabi Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, in one of those stories they say, Nabi Musa, one of the companions were witnessing the scene. They saw at an oasis in the desert, there's an old man, and that old man, he has in his pocket, he has a small pouch. In that pouch is some gold. So this old man is walking, he's very frail, he's very tired, and he sits on a rock or against a tree and he's drinking water. All of a sudden, a young horseman comes, and the horseman gets off his horse and he slices this man's head off. The horseman cuts this man's head off and kills him, gets on his horse and runs away. Just then a little child is there, a young boy is there. He goes there, he notices a dead body, and then he notices a pouch. In that pouch are gold coins. The young child picks up the gold coins and he goes away. So now Nabi Musa or the companion, they're perplexed. He says, Allah, what kind of justice is this? There's an old man killed in the middle of the desert. Nobody knows who will avenge him. Allah responds to Nabi Musa. He says, this was justice. He says, how is it justice? It's like this old man when he was young. When he was young, he killed this boy's father who took the coins back from him. And that was qisas, because he had also killed another person who came back to kill him. Sometimes we don't know the full story. Sometimes we look at something, we don't know the pretext or the context of it, what comes before and after. And we judge based on that. But Allah exists beyond that. He sees the before and the very much after. What we may feel to be unjust sometimes is very much Allah's justice at play. We don't realize it. Pick up human history, pick up Islamic history, pick up any history. Except for the Ma'asumeen alayhimus salatu wassalam. Except for the Ma'asumeen alayhi salatu wassalam and the Anbiya who had hukuma. Any madhloom who gained power became the zalim. Any madhloom, anyone who's oppressed, as soon as he became powerful, he started oppressing. This is human history. Because power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Unless you have an inaya khasa from a ma'soom. Unless a ma'soom is praying for you. But this is human nature. So better be the oppressed than become the oppressor. Better be with the oppressed than become the oppressor. Better I die knowing that somebody has taken something from me than die knowing that I've taken something from someone. It's an easier death. It's an easier death. Last thing I'll say about hasad, in Banu Abbas's time, Mutawakkil la'anatullah alayhi was the Khalifa. A man had hasad, and this is narrated many, many times in this chapter. A man was jealous of his neighbor. A man was jealous of his neighbor, and this jealousy disturbed him and troubled him. To a point where he tells his ghulam, he tells his slave, the person, his khadim who works for him, he says, I'm bothered by this person. This individual, he bothers me. He disturbs me. He says, what does he do to you? It's like he says nothing. Why is he always happy? Why is he always happy? Why does he have nothing to complain about? He says, what do you want me to do? Should I kill him? He says, no, if you kill him, then he won't suffer. I need to do something worse. This is in history. Mutawakkil's time, the name of this person is mentioned in Tariq. He says, I want to do something worse so he suffers. It's like, what do you do? He says, kill me and put my body in his house so he gets arrested. He says, he tells his ghulam, he tells his servant, he says, kill me, dismember me, and put my body in this person's house so the police arrest him. And then I will be at peace. The extent of hasad. So the ghulam does exactly that. In the middle of the night, the ghulam, the servant, and this individual, they hop over the person's wall, the neighbor's house. They go on his roof. He says, okay, Allah, I'm ready. Kill me now. And don't forget, dismember me and put my parts everywhere. So they kill him and dismember him, and he puts his part everywhere. In the morning, when there's noise, it's like this person is missing. They find out his body is in the neighbor's. So the police or the shurta at that time, they come, they arrest the ghulam, the servant, and they arrest the neighbor as well, because the body was found on your roof. So when they inquired, the ghulam says, okay, since my aqa, since my owner is dead, I have no loyalty to anyone right now. I'll tell you exactly what happened. This is what happened. He was jealous of this person, and he asked me to do this, and I killed him. So Mutawakkil looks at him, he says, I've never heard of anything like this before. I mean, to this extent, I've not heard anything. He frees him eventually. The man is freed, but hasad. Hasad. The ayah that I talked about, and I'll just come to Masahib right now, but make a note of this ayah, Surah Nisa, ayah number 54. أَمْ يَحْسَدُونَ النَّاسَ عَلَى مَا آتَاهُمُ اللَّهُ مِنْ فَضْلِهِ. Allah says, are people jealous of them? Are people jealous of them from what we have given them? When the imams were asked, they said, we are the ones people are jealous of. The nas is us. People are jealous of us. It disturbs them. You know how Adam was disturbing Shaitan? Shaitan was troubled by Adam. The silsila continues. Namrud was disturbed and troubled by Ibrahim. Fir'aun was troubled and disturbed by Musa. Fir'aun couldn't understand, he couldn't operate. And he came down, Abu Lahab, Abu Jahl, till Muawiyah and Banu Umayyah la'natullah alayhim. Problem, hasad. Simple problem, hasad. If you sit down, I don't want to simplify it, obviously there's politics, but if you were to study human nature, hasad. All the children in Medina, their mothers make clothes for them. Their father buys clothes for them. But Hassan and Hussein, their clothes come from Jinnah. Hasad. People have a problem with this. Why are all the doors to the masjid closed except for one door? They have hasad. Because they feel this is Muhammad choosing who he wants after him. This is Allah choosing who he wants after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Anyone who has hasad does not have a problem with the shakhs, he has a problem with Allah. His problem is with divine justice. Anyone who opposed any prophet, his problem was with Allah. The Yahud in that time, the people when they came together in Medina, the problem was this. He's like, why is there a Rasul from Banu Hashim? The prophet was supposed to be from Bani Israel. We don't accept it. Allahu ya'lamu haythu yaj'alu risalati. Allah will choose his wali. You like it or you don't like it. It's a choice for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we're talking about this today again. I just mentioned it in passing. Ashab al-Kahf. Ashab al-Kahf, you've heard of the people of the cave who by i'jaz of Allah, the Quran talks about them. They're people resting in the cave, sleeping in the cave. They will come out when the sahib comes out. When his duhur happens, Ajalullah ta'ala farajahu sharif. These people in that side of the earth, in Europe, Rome side, wealthy individuals, people who had influence, young people who had power and authority, they chose to leave society for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah chose to guide them to safety. Was it possible for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send an angel to guide them? It's not impossible. You have 5 or 6 individuals who are running away from society. An angel comes, holds them by the hand, takes them to safety. Is it impossible for Allah? No. Can Allah do it? Yes. Who does Allah send? Allah sends a dog. Allah sends a dog. Come with us. Come with me. I'll take you to safety. हम और आप जैसा मुझ जैसा कोई होता तो नाराज हो जाता कि अल्लाह इतनी मेहनत कर रहे हैं, एक फरिश्ता ही भेज देते, कुत्ता क्या भेजा है? Why did you send a dog? The problem is, and they understood this, we might not understand this. It's not who's coming to us, it's who's sending it to us. It's not the dog we're looking at. It's not who's coming towards it. It's Allah sending to us. Allah will send whoever He wants. وَأَوْحَيْنَا إِلَى النَّحَلِ. भाई डॉक्टर साहब आप पर वही होती है? नहीं होती. हमारे पर भी वही नहीं होती. किसी पर वही होती है? नहीं होती. शहद की मक्खी पर होती है, कुरान के अंदर लिखा हुआ है. There is wahi on the nahl, on the honeybee. The Quran says it. हमें प्रॉब्लम है उससे नहीं. आप लड़ें आके शहद की मक्खी से. Allah chooses where He sends hidayah. Allah chooses the household. Allah has chosen the household, the house of Muhammad and Al Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Allah has chosen this household, and people have a problem with this. And you look back, it's hasad. Rasulullah would sit in his house, and one of his wives would be with Rasulullah. As soon as Imam Ali would come, Rasulullah would say, move away, let Ali sit. Now she had a problem with this. Why Ali? Why not my father? Why Ali? Why not somebody else? Why do you love that woman so much? Your wife, Khadija. This is what she used to say. Why do you love Khadija so much when Allah has given you someone more beautiful than her? These are words. And he said, what is this? Hasad. This is shaitan speaking. This is shaitan speaking. Hasad. And this will become flames to the fire, that one day that fire starts at the door of Az-Zahra, it reaches the camps of Karbala. Hasad. Why Banu Hashim? Why does Rasulullah only have Hassan and Hussein alayhi salatu? Why does He love them so much? Because Allah told Him to. Allah has chosen this. This is Allah's choice. The Hasid has a problem with Allah's choice. He has an issue with Allah's choice. So my brothers and those sisters listening, before we are fixed because of terrible circumstances, let's revisit ourselves and see within ourselves, do we have this problem? And one of the best solutions to start from is to make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah, remove from within myself this hasad. Make me content with what you have given me. Make me content with what you have given me. If I come and complain to you, Dr. Sahib, I keep coming and complain to you, ye ho raha hai, ye ho raha hai, ye ho raha hai, ye ho raha hai. One day if Allah tells me, He says, am I the raziq or this person the raziq? Am I the one giving you life and sustenance, or is this person your Rabb? You say, Allah, you're my Rabb. Then why do you go to this person and that person and complain against me? When you complain against Allah. He says, what door have I not opened for you? Is the door of dua not open for you? Have I not told you, ud'uni astajib lakum? Then be patient. We're impatient. We're impatient. This hasad. And we've heard this in Karbala, when Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam comes up, and he says, what is my sin? What is my sin? What have I done? He says, you're the son of Ali. We're the son of Ali ibn Abi Talib. This is the problem. This is the problem. We have no problem with you, just that they couldn't digest the person of Ali ibn Abi Talib. It was very difficult for them to accept Ali ibn Abi Talib. To a point where we witness on the battlefield of Karbala, Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam walking out of the camp, and he has a little baby in his hand. You know, I used to think sometimes, and I asked one of the teachers, he says, it is unprecedented that somebody would walk out onto the battlefield with holding a baby in their hand, and the baby will be shot or be injured and be killed. We've not heard of this before. That somebody, what is Hussein doing? Hussein is defending Islam, Iman, and he comes out onto the battlefield and he has a baby in his hand, and the baby is injured. I asked one of the teachers, I said, where is this from? So my teacher says, like, where do you think Ali Asghar learned this from? Like, I don't know. He says, look at Muhsin. Look at Muhsin. He says, Muhsin was before Ali Asghar in this regard. Muhsin, the son of Az-Zahra salamullah alayha, was the first one in this regard. The first shaheed, the first child shaheed of wilaya is Muhsin ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam. He says, where else would you see this? What household would you see this? Fire in Shami Ghariba, fire at the door of Az-Zahra. A child being sacrificed like this at the house of Zahra. Karbala is macro. Karbala is manifest of what happened in that one night in Medina. Anything you can think of that happens in Karbala took from that one night. Bodies being trampled under the feet, Medina. Women being struck, Medina to Rasul. Khiyam being burnt, Medina to Rasul. Little Sakina salamullah alayha complaining that she was stabbed. Medina to Rasul, Fatima to Zahra salamullah alayha. ألا لعنة الله على قوم ظالمين سيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون رضا بقضائه وتسليما لأمره. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
صلى الله عليك يا رسول الله. السلام عليك يا نبي الله. السلام عليك يا حبيب الله. السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين علي بن أبي طالب. السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين. السلام عليكم الحسن والحسين سيد شباب أهل الجنة. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا علي بن موسى الرضا. كن شفيعنا وشفيع والدينا في يوم الجزاء. السلام عليك يا شمس الشموس وعنيس النفوس مدفون بأرض الطوس. السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله. السلام عليك يا أخت ولي الله. السلام عليك يا فاطمة المعصومة. اشفعيني في جنة فإن لك عند الله الشأن من الشأن. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا مولانا يا صاحب نسل الزمان. الأمان الأمان من فتنة الزمان. السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن. السلام عليك يا مظهر الإيمان. السلام عليك يا مهدي. أدركني أدركني أدركني. الساعة 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 العجل 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 عجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله تعالى مخرجك وزحورك وعجل الله من أعوانك وأنصارك والمستشهدين بين يدي ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقاعدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه عرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Please can I request everyone to recite a namaz-e-wahshat for the names? I'll just mention the names. Kulsum bint Inayat Ali. Kulsum Akhtar bint Inayat Ali. If everyone can recite a namaz-e-wahshat for her first night of burial, because as we know it is the first night, and the hardest night is this first night for everybody that goes into the grave. Please recite aloud salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Okay.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. زيارة الوارث. السلام عليك يا وارث عدم صفة الله. السلام عليك يا وارث نوح النبي الله. السلام عليك يا وارث إبراهيم خليل الله. السلام عليك يا وارث موسى كليم الله. السلام عليك يا وارث عيسى روح الله. السلام عليك يا وارث محمد حبيب الله. السلام عليك يا وارث أمير المؤمنين عليه السلام. السلام عليك يا ابن محمد المصطفى. السلام عليك يا ابن علي المرتضى. السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة الزهراء. السلام عليك يا ابن خديجة الكبرى. السلام عليك يا ثار الله وابن ثاره والوتر الموتور. أشهد أنك قد قمت الصلاة وآتيت الزكاة وأمرت بالمعروف ونهيت عن المنكر وطعت الله ورسوله حتى أتاك اليقين. فلعن الله أمة قتلتك ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك ولعن الله أمة سمعت بذلك فرضيت به. يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله أشهد أنك كنت نورا في الأصلاب الشامخة والأرحام المطهرة. لم تنجسك الجاهلية بأنجاسها ولم تلبسك من مظلمات ثيابها. وأشهد أنك من دعائم الدين وأركان المؤمنين. وأشهد أنك الإمام البر التقي الرضي الزكي الهادي المهدي. وأشهد أن الأئمة من ولدك كلمة التقوى وأعلام الهدى والعروة الوثقى والحجة على أهل الدنيا. وأشهد الله وملائكته وأنبياءه ورسله أني بكم مؤمن وبيا بكم موقن بشرائع ديني وخواتيم عملي وقلبي لقلبكم سلم وأمري لأمركم متبع. صلوات الله عليكم وعلى أرواحكم وعلى أجسادكم وعلى أجسامكم وعلى شاهدكم وعلى غائبكم وعلى ظاهركم وعلى باطنكم. السلام عليكم يا شهداء كربلاء جميعا بالخصوص بالفضل العباس ورحمة الله وبركاته. صلوات الله